Axios reports the call between Trump and Netanyahu was tense. This is a piece of the outlet posting yesterday, quote, summarizing Trump's remarks to Netanyahu. The U.S. official said, "You're effing crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your A. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this." A second source briefed on the call said Trump was, quote, pissed, and at one point yelled at Netanyahu, "What the F are you doing?" Now, at this moment, Israeli troops remain in southern Lebanon. Overnight, there were a few sirens across northern Israel from Hezbollah rocket and drone attacks, as well as a small number of Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Civilians in the Lebanese capital of Beirut are breathing a sigh of relief following evacuation orders that were issued by the Israeli military on Monday.
So there you have Trey Yingst reporting earlier this morning on the leak of this phone call between Netanyahu and Trump. Can you take that for what it's worth? Is the leak accurate? Is there consternation between these two leaders? Maybe this is always how negotiations take place, and now we just got a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. Let's ask our friend Senator Jim Talent joins us once again. Great to have you back with us, Senator. Thank you for the time today. I was curious about your thoughts on this leaked discussion between these two leaders, Trump and Netanyahu. Is this par for the course, or is this detrimental to have this information out there?
Well, assuming it's true, assuming they had a tense conversation, it's because at this stage, Israel's interest in reducing the threat in Lebanon is, in the president's view, conflicting with his interest in an effort to put to bed the problem of Iran. Now, they both have the same objectives, which is to finish dealing with the Iranian problem. I mean, the Iranian issue has been reduced from a deadly threat 2 years ago to now a problem that we're going to have to manage going forward, beginning with getting the Strait open. Trump is pursuing negotiations in an effort to do that. And the the conflict in Lebanon right now is gumming up the negotiations. So it's a disagreement over a tactical matter rather than over strategy. And there will always be tension between allies. That's how I read it. But they have the same strategic objectives in the region, and they both understand the importance of the American-Israeli partnership.
As I understand it, President Trump has two goals or initiatives here. The first, according to Secretary of State Marco Rubio today, the Strait of Hormuz is to be opened and safe for passage, first and foremost, precursor to anything else. The second goal for President Trump and the United States of America to be no nuclear pursuit of any kind, whether manufactured or purchased by Iran in the future, not going to happen. What is Netanyahu doing in Lebanon that is so important to Israel that they're willing to pursue that while we're trying to, I would think, jointly accomplish those initial two goals that we just stated?
Well, northern Israel was attacked by by Hezbollah in Lebanon. And they were attacked a couple of years ago. At one point, Israel had to evacuate about 100,000 of its citizens from the northern part of Israel. And Netanyahu is determined to push the threat from Hezbollah back far enough north so that at least their short and medium range missiles can't hit northern Israel. That's a major objective for him. Trump is fine with that. I mean, the two countries are working together, dealing directly now with the government of Lebanon to get them to disarm Hezbollah and making some real progress in doing that. But this tactic right now, in the president's view, and I don't know enough about the specifics of the negotiations to be able to critique this, but in the president's view, it's making the outcome that he thinks he's close to with Iran harder to get. So he wants Netanyahu to suspend, at least for the time being, while we proceed with the negotiations with Iran. That's, I assume, Annie, I can't be certain, but I assume that that's the issue here between the two of them.
We're speaking with Senator Jim Talent here on the Annie Frey Show. So, how many weeks have you and I had the discussion where it goes back and forth, ceasefire is happening, negotiations are nearing an end, and then, the Midwestern OPE comes in and it's not happening. President Trump continues to repeat the line that he's not in a hurry. He knows what he wants and he's not interested in in speeding up the process for political purposes. But at the same time, I hear a lot of smart people saying that Iran's play here is to drag it out, that the longer this takes, the better for Iran. Your thoughts?
Right. So let me give a little context. I referred to it before. Okay. So 2 years ago, they were a major threat. They wanted to dominate the region. They were in control of Syria, Lebanon, Gaza through Hamas. Okay. As a result of the joint military action, most of it Israeli, but culminating in Operation Epic Fury, Syria is gone as an ally for them. Lebanon has been significantly compromised. I mean, Hezbollah has been very much degraded. Gaza is gone. The Houthis in Yemen have been hurt badly. And Iran itself has lost the vast majority of its military capability, virtually all of its military industrial base, leadership decapitated, and the nuclear program as a program is now gone. So what Trump could do is just take the W, force the Strait, just force it open, and then end the thing. But being Trump, he wants as big a win as possible. So he's trying to get them to open the Strait, in essence, to bow the knee and to give us the nuclear material. And I imagine, so the issue is, how long is he going to continue pushing in an attempt to get that? What I would prefer, and what we started to do 3 weeks ago, Annie, is just force the Strait open. And then once that's happening, continue to choke the Iranian economy. I guess that is what Trump is going to do if he can't get the agreement that he wants. I'll just add one more thing. What we don't know on that point is how much of a squawk the Gulf states have put up about the idea of forcing the Strait, because they're worried. Iran still has some missiles and drones left. They're worried about an attack on their infrastructure. And the president is managing that as well. So when I've talked in the past about this new coalition emerging to manage the Middle East, it's Israel, Jordan, Egypt, the Gulf states, under the leadership of the United States. It's a coalition, and our president has to manage it. And that's what he's doing right now, and evidently having a little difficulty with Netanyahu.
Yeah, I just don't, to what you've said, other military experts that I've had on the show, we so forcefully got the job done. I remember the president saying, boy, we are sure ahead of schedule. So, the timing of all of this was a key talking point from the president at first. Maybe he could go back, he wouldn't have emphasized a 4 to 6 weeks timeline, or we're way ahead of schedule. Maybe he wouldn't have said that as much. Maybe he doesn't care. But I hear a lot of people saying, like, gosh, we've got the military capability to just take care of business right now. There's such a diplomatic approach that President Trump is seemingly trying to take, with a lot of talk and a lot of negotiations that are going on. Is there another party that we're trying not to offend, upset, or agitate that's causing us to do a lot more talking as opposed to a lot more doing?
Yeah, well, in terms of the Strait, well, first of all, the Operation Epic Fury was estimated to take 4 to 6 weeks. It took about 5 weeks. Okay. I mean, that was the military side of it. Then we began economic fury, and we've been throttling them. Nobody ever said that was going to be over in a couple of weeks. And the issue is the Iranians played their last card. They threatened the Strait. And as a result, it has blocked oil shipments, which is having an effect, particularly on the international economy, and it's causing us to pay higher gas prices. So the natural response would be, well, then we'll just open the Strait. And we started to do that, if you recall, with Project Freedom about 3 weeks ago, and then we stopped. And that's where I think, as I just mentioned, I think a third party was heard from. I think the Saudis said, look, yeah, you can do this militarily, but they might get off a lucky shot and hit our desalinization plants, which would be a disaster for us. So I think at that point, the president said, okay, we'll just keep the blockade going, which is hurting them tremendously, and try and get them in a corner in negotiations. And that's what's dragging it out. I think if we could open the Strait up, which militarily we can do. I mean, I've been briefed on that a dozen times over the years when I was in office. It's painstaking, difficult in the sense that, you have to escort these ships through, but we can do it. And at that point, we're choking them and they're not choking anybody. And I think it's game over. So if you want me to, to criticize, what I would say is, Mr. President, just tell the Saudis to put their big boy pants on. You're going to open up the Strait. And
Can you quote you on that?
It would be, yeah. I mean, it's just call MBS up and say we're going to defend you, but at the same time, I understand because from the Saudis' perspective, see, we've almost been too successful. From the Saudis' perspective, the Iranian threat, in terms of a regional threat, is basically gone. So from their perspective, they're saying, why should we risk our infrastructure? I mean, just open up the strait, then we can police them going forward, which we can do. In other words, I'm not particularly concerned now going forward. I mean, I'm concerned about Iran, but it's moved from the level of a threat to a manageable problem. And this is the president trying to get the big W here.
Sure. Have we done Saudi Arabia a favor up to this point?
Yeah, because they understood. Look, regionally, I mean, Iran, we're the great Satan. They've been attacking us. Israel is the little Satan. But the real point of Iranian policy has been to dominate the Middle East, and in particular, their Muslim neighbors.
Yeah.
And the big enemy there for them was Saudi Arabia, and the Saudis understood this. I mean, they absolutely wanted us to do epic fury. And this is the reason. So we've done the whole region a favor, but now this is the end game. And diplomacy, I'll just tell you, Annie, if it weren't for the higher gas prices here, my guess is most Americans wouldn't care.
Oh, totally.
So that's, from my standpoint, if I was sitting there at the table with them, I'd say, Mr. President, get the strait open. Oil prices will start going down as soon as we signal that we're going to do that. And then we can take our time with diplomacy. But as I said, he's managing the Gulf states, and I think that's probably the difficulty. Remember a couple of weeks, actually it was last week, he said, okay, we're going back to negotiations, and he told the Gulf states, you're going to sign the Abraham Accords when this is over, right? Mm-hmm. So what he's saying is, look, we've done you a big favor. Now, we're doing it for ourselves as well, and we're doing you the additional favor of not opening, not forcing the strait, which would cause Iran maybe to shoot at you. So now you can come back and sign the Abraham Accords afterwards. And we don't know what deals have been made along those lines.
Senator Talent, I've heard the president say that we've, decapitated their ability to be this type of a nuisance, or way worse than a nuisance, devastating to their enemies through nuclear warfare, whatever they were pursuing. Can we not take out their ability to accidentally get a lucky shot off towards Saudi Arabia? Have we not done that to this extent? Or maybe there's something that we're just not aware of?
Annie, it's all a question of risk. And, when you talk about warfare, it's rarely oh my gosh, we're completely vulnerable, or oh my gosh, we're completely safe. It's a margin of risk. Okay. So the answer to the question is we've seen this. I mean, you're getting reports. Iran launched 5 missiles at American forces, and we intercepted all of them, right? So, if you look at they've launched several thousand missiles in the course of this. A small percentage of them have gotten through, and the ones that have gotten through haven't done much damage because they don't have a lot of precision strike yet. So they can't even hit really what they're aiming at. But there is a risk. It's the same thing with the strait. I mean, that's why I've tried to be careful on the program and say when we say they're closing the strait, they have raised the risk of passage through the strait to the point where the shipping companies don't want to move. Now, actually, I mean, I saw open source intel. It's about 70 ships have gone out of the strait. There is a corridor you can go on. It's on the south side of the strait. They just took the chance and ran it, and they were fine. We can reduce the risk. So when I say opening up the strait, I mean reduce the risk much, much more than it's been reduced so that these ships are willing to move. But there'll still be a risk. I mean, as long as they have a speedboat and they can, aim it at a freighter, there will be a risk. Yes.
Last question before we let you go. We're grateful for your time, Senator Talent, speaking with us right now. You talked about how if it gets opened up and people are freely passing once again, no tolls, no threat, those oil prices will come down globally. Is there a correlation to how quickly My Chrysler Pacifica sees a little bit of relief when I go to the corner gas station. I mean, how quickly does that open up? Prices go down, and then the gas stations go, okay, well, we got to drop here.
Now, here you need an oil expert. What I will say is a lot of these prices are because of the futures market. In other words, what do they expect oil to be selling for in 3 months and 6 months and a year? Well, once the straits open, those begin to drop, and I think you'll see drops pretty quickly. As a matter of fact, we've seen fluctuations, haven't we?
Yes.
As the market thought, the problem's probably going to be over, the price begins to go down. How long it will take to get down to where it was, I don't know. But I think we'll see drops right away, and I think once Americans see it going down and understand the situation is stabilized, a lot of the anxiety will be gone. This is the messy diplomatic end of a war that, as a war, went extremely well and accomplished its objectives. And I think when it's over, one way or the other, which it will be, people will look back on this and think, yeah, this was a very good thing to do. Personally, I'd like to see all of them, all of those people in Iran get it in the neck. We have decapitated a lot of them because of what they've done to us over 47 years. But I can't crime the president if he wants a negotiated solution, having accomplished a mission, and then he figures, you know what, we can deal with these people going forward. And he's right. We can now, I think.
Senator Jim Talent, thank you for being with us today. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Good talking to you, Annie.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good week. Senator Jim Talent, former United States Senator from Missouri, as well as Congressman, Chairman of the Reagan Institute's National Leadership Council, on X at Jim Talent.